Well, I guess I'll talk about Jen stealing Jazzy. There's probably some details that me running over the situations quickly might have left out, or parts of it that I didn't say because of where I started the story at. Um, when me and Jen broke up and she left with Jazz, and I went through everything with Brian, and she went across state line, and she ended up back here. That's when the Sam and Dex thing went down. I won Jasmine at court, but even the master said that if I didn't let Jasmine keep seeing Sam, the drug dealer, that I would most likely be uh, in trouble for uh, mental something on Jasmine, when technically it was her mother that put her in that position because of what she did. This is also after Jasmine had a broken leg. Jasmine was in between 2 or 3, and the courts ordered that I let Jen have visitation. And I told the courts that if she has visitation, what stops her from taking Jasmine? And they said that, I contact the police, blah, 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 if that ever happens. So, lo and behold, of course, that's exactly what Jen did. She was with Phil at the time. Me and Tiffany were in Elkton in that white house on Route 40. Um, yeah, I have a picture of Jasmine eating pizza. Yeah. But anyway, um, I got Jasmine the second time because somehow she ended up in CPS's care because of Jen. And I proved that, I was there. Jen was just keeping her from me. And I got Jazzy back. That's when she was with Carl and Tracy. That was Jen's doing again, even though she did not have custody of Jazz. And again, they ordered me to give her visitation after I got Jasmine back from going through all the hoops with CPS that her mother had gotten her into because Jen was not taking care of Jazz. That had nothing to do with me. I was not with Jen. Jen had broken up with Phil, and her other son was left with Phil. Then Jen, after she got Jasmine back the third time, sent cops to Phil's house to collect Gabe, which just before she gave Gabe to Phil, she was asking me to sign custody papers of Gabe. And that's when I was at Cedar Hill. I have that on surveillance video because we have surveillance video with Mike right outside of where we were. It was aimed right at our door. So, uh, her boyfriend Steve, which works at the Wendy's up here in Pennsylvania, knows because he was there. He was standing right there. That was the day we gave them a jump start to his car because his battery was dead. And she was rude to my neighbors. She was rude to us. Uh, she didn't even care about her son running down the middle of the street. She just let him go and laughed. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I went running after him and got. This is what I mean. This is how they manipulate other people into doing stuff for them. Right. He could have got seriously hurt. People fly in and out of there all the time. And we told Jen that. She didn't listen. But okay, at this time, supposedly, shortly after that, is I beat up my daughter, all this other stuff, and that wasn't the truth either. Just like they tried to say that I wasn't the one that took her into school that day with the lump on the back of her head from her mother. And yes, I did. It was over a microphone. Something about Jen went to get a shower, left Jasmine unattended, and she got a hold of a microphone and broke it. Jazzy said that Mommy hit me with a shoe. I asked her if she wanted to go to school. She said no. I let her stay home and just take the day to herself. And then Tuesday, I told her, I said, if you want, there's people at school you can talk to about this. And she said, okay. I talked to my neighbor, Debbie, and then I took Jasmine up to the school. Actually, I'm pretty sure Debbie was the one that drove us up to the school. And I waited until they were ready, and then the lady come out and said, we'll let you know. I said, you sure everything's okay? You don't need me for nothing. She said, no. So I figured Jazzy was going to tell them what happened. She was going to go to school and then come home on the bus like I was told. That didn't happen. That was the last time I saw my little girl. And the next thing I heard is that they were in Texas. Yeah, Jen completely did everything against that little girl. She lied about her employment. She lied about everything, man. She lied to CPS and said she was working at Red Robin as a manager. And it wasn't even her. It was some lady named Jen Anderson. Then she threw a fit in court to get a real lawyer because she knew that she couldn't get one. So they gave her a lawyer from CPS. I mean, one of the best lawyers in the county. And Jen didn't show up for court 3 times, and the lady, you know, struck her appearance. I mean, that was the second time I won Jasmine in court. That was when she was with Carl and Tracy. The birthday party pictures that she was showing, yeah, that was around that time. That was when I had just gotten her back from Carl and Tracy. She wasn't fully with me yet. I had her for, I think it was a weekends, or it was partial visits anyway. But, you know, I was slowly getting everything back. I had to do it the way CPS wanted me to do it. And I did. I did everything I was supposed to. Oh, I got so much attitude for winning custody of my daughter both times from everybody. Like the people around me when I went to get her Social Security card. The lady at the desk, she's like, "You have custody of your daughter?" I said, "Yeah," and I showed her the court paper, and she just was really freaking rude, snarled her face up at me. I'm like, "What? What did I do wrong?" Yeah, I don't know what it was all about. But yeah, I mean, Tiffany was the one with Jasmine at Cedar Hill for the most part. I was working a lot when I first got Jasmine there. Well, not at first. I had broken my hand and I had taken some time off from Uncle John. But as soon as it was healed, I went back. And Tiffany was with Jazzy, which is not not easy to have that job with him and be able to even go to court and do all that stuff because he does not play those games. If you tell him, "Oh, I have a court date, this, that, and that twice in 1 month," dude, he doesn't want you working for him anymore. So I played all kinds of heck because of that. Oh yeah, he put so much work on me, extra work, all because that's what he did. I was really getting really, really fast, and I was really, really good at what I did, so he would pile on 5 and 6 jobs in one day if they were small. If they were decent, it'd be 2 and 3. Even though I was, so all he did was triple his money. But anyway, but every time Tiffany would call me and say that she had a problem, like a serious issue, I would get done my work and rush home. She knew that. But I had to finish or he would fire me. So I had to finish and then I could go. So I would hurry the hell up. There's times I've installed whole apartments within 2 hours and gone. Yeah, that's not easy to do. Ripping up all the pad, all the carpet, putting it where it needs to be, repadding and carpeting a whole 2 bedroom apartment, living room, hallway, and steps, without leaving any fuzzies, and making sure you lock it up when you leave. Yeah, I was all the way in Baltimore. Tiffany knew it. She said she was having a problem with Jazz. Come to find out, it was just Tiffany couldn't handle her having energy. Jazzy was a bouncy baby girl. She was just very happy and full of energy. She couldn't sit still. And that drove Tiffany insane. Of course, I had to go through all kinds of scenarios in my head from what Tiffany was saying and all that. And then Tiffany decided to record it, and I seen what she was talking about and the way Tiffany presented it to me and how she tried to manipulate me into believing that it was some type of thing to hurt Tiffany. I'm like, it's not to hurt you. That's just the way Jazzy's always been. I said, David's the same way. That's why you try and keep him in a freaking high chair all day so you don't have to deal with him being a kid. And she got mad at me. And she did. She used to keep David in a high chair for a long time. And when I found out, I said, look, you don't do that. They don't stay in that high chair all day long. So I had people stop in and start, paying attention to if she was keeping those kids in high chairs and whatnot. I didn't care if she put up the baby gate and kept them in the living room so they wouldn't get into the bathroom or the kitchen and get hurt. But I kind of agreed with that because, when she's cooking and all that, they don't need to be in there under her feet and trying to grab stuff if she's by herself. But she wasn't by herself. She had friends with her and things like that. So I don't get it. But Tiffany would call me and say she's gonna effing kill Jazz and all this other stuff all over this. And it came after I didn't want to marry Tiffany because she had gotten caught doing some things. And even that Valentine's Day, the cards I gave her and all that, because she was trying to play it off like nothing ever happened. I gave her ones that said wife and all this and said, you would be, you know, and put my own in there. Said, I do love you, but what you did was no sign of love. And she got mad, I'm just venting to you my hurt that you did. I'm not the fucking problem. You are. I'm the one out doing the work and running around like a fucking chicken with my head cut off because you want to sit here and play psychological games when you know damn well this little girl and me have already been through all kinds of shit because of her mom. But you're going to sit here and pull this out of the blue? Yeah, ridiculous. I couldn't believe Tiffany was doing that. The way she acted before we got Jazz there and the way she acted after was completely two different people. She was really sweet. I can't wait to get her here. Yes, she deserves to be here where she's safe. Blah, 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 blah. All these sweet things until Jazzy got there. Then after that, it was. Yeah, she always used to do that.